So after Shelley and I finished up at Yaquina Head, we headed down the Oregon coast back to the Cape Perpetua scenic area. So our first stop in the Cape Perpetua scenic area was a feature called Devil's Turn. It's just south of Yachats, Oregon. This area was named by Captain James Cook in 1778 after Saint Perpetua. Devil's Turn is a geologic feature where the tidal forces have eroded an inlet into the lava flow of the area. And during high tide, the waves come in and they break against the lava rock. Shelley and I were able to hike down from the parking lot down the steps quite a bit. We didn't get all the way down to the bottom because we wanted to make sure that we still hit Thor's Well during high tide, because that's the best time to see that feature. So my ideal composition, from the steps at least, to Devil's Turn, was trying to get wave action coming up onto the rock in one area of the frame and then receding and leaving that nice water trail down the rock in another area. So I think I pulled that off with this composition. I wish we would have had a couple days to spend at the Cape Perpetua scenic area. That way we would have gotten a couple cycles of the tide to photograph with, meaning we could have spent more time at Devil's Turn without having to worry about hitting high tide over at Thor's Well. That being said, we hiked back up to the car, drove down about a half-mile to the Thor's Well and Spouting Horn pull-off near Cook's Chasm, and we proceeded to walk down the trail to get on the lava shelf and walk out to Thor's Well. I'm going to say this right now. If you are uncomfortable around the ocean, don't go out on the lava shelf. It is lava, and it's not kind, let's put it that way. Make sure that you have the appropriate footwear. I would not wear sandals out there. I wouldn't go barefoot for anything. You also need to keep one eye on the ocean no matter what you're doing, because you could get a rogue wave that comes up on the shelf and knocks you off your feet into the tidal pools. On the day that Shelley and I were there, even with the high tide, Spouting Horn wasn't spouting very well. So we kind of skipped it, walked past it, down the trail, onto the lava shelf and out to Thor's Well. So the cool thing about Thor's Well is it's a collapsed sea cave that is believed to be about 50 feet deep. What happens during high tide is the ocean comes up through this collapsed sea cave and then drains back through. It's kind of like a widened spouting horn feature, so during really high tides you can get some water thrusts that come up considerably high. Even when we were there, they were coming up pretty good. So for my composition of Thor's Well, I wanted to get the water receding back into the feature and get that silky smooth feeling, you know, kind of like you do with a waterfall with the reduced shutter speed. So in order to achieve this, I threw on my circular polarizer, increased my aperture to f/22, waited for the appropriate wave to come in and up through Thor's Well, waited for the recession to start, hit the shutter. The circular polarizer helped me achieve seeing what's in the tidal pool right in front of my lens. Now I'm shooting with my 14-24, so I'm fairly close to the feature. The whole time I was doing this, I wasn't using the optical viewfinder of my camera. I was keeping my eye on the ocean and the waves it was making. I didn't want to be a victim of one of those rogue waves. So after Shelly and I were done photographing Thor's Well, we headed back to where we were staying, rustled up some grub, and got ready for our next adventure. That would be the Heceta Head Lighthouse and Cape Creek area. That's next time. If you like this episode, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't yet done so, please hit the subscribe button and ding that bell so that you get notifications of future releases. We'll see you next time.